All right. Well, hello, everybody.
What's going
Welcome
on,
aboard.
folks?
It's Danny Boy,
And Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy.
and we welcome you in SIP on SIN 417. We appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for always joining us
To
on.
this last minute edition of the Sports Insanity
Well,
podcast.
we were going to be live tomorrow. That was the original plan. Um, but schedules kind of freed up, and
Well, here's the short version because I had something for work this morning, which I thought was going to be longer than it actually was, and we were going to do this tomorrow morning, but we were going to have to do it early because then I have a wedding to go to this weekend, so. And I would have to because I'm leaving tomorrow, the wedding Sunday. So but then when I was walking out of the thing, I'm like, it wasn't as long as I thought it was gonna be, and I texted Reg. I'm like, hey, my thing ended. My thing ended earlier than I thought. So you want to do it? You want to do it today? And he's like, sure.
yeah, I was supposed to have plans today, but like all plans, they're up in the air, like Bill's was. So, um, here we are, live in living color, celebrating a Knicks victory. Um, which was look, this has not been an easy series for the Knicks. They have, for the most part, it's been very competitive, um, and all that, but clearly Indiana has the upper hand. They've been playing very well. So we'll talk about the Knicks win in game five last night at the Garden. The winner of the series we now know will face the Oklahoma City Thunder. They will go to OKC to start the series. Um, so OKC, after obliterating the Timberwolves in 5 games, are still waiting their opponent. They're gonna have to wait another day, and I hope another day
At
because
least one more day.
because I I know I think the Knicks are gonna lose the series. However, Bill, remain optimistic. You
You
know,
know what? I've been kind of on the fence a little bit. I'm like thinking, okay, you know what has, listen, I don't want to give the autopsy report and before someone dies,
right?
but you want to know what was the thing if the Knicks lose tomorrow night? You know what was the thing that put the nail in their coffin? It was game one.
Yeah, yeah. Game one, that was that has, excuse my language, fucked them over so many times.
Oh,
And
that game one
and
was a shit
and
show.
and look, it was, look, the Knicks should have won that game.
They should
Had they,
have.
had they won the game, they would have had the upper hand of the series. Look, we knew this series wasn't going to be easy. I expected this to go seven. I don't know if it goes past six now. But that first game really screwed the pooch because we knew Indiana was going to come back and win game two. Then we go back to Indiana, hostile environment, and of course they split that. And of course you go back to New York, you're down 3-1, and you're trying to save your season.
Because
So it's that game one that is going to haunt the Knicks. And the Knicks, look, whenever they don't win a game one in a series, they never win the series. So that's why it's a bad feeling all around. It's always a
but
bad feeling all
But you know what it is? I think tomorrow night for both the Knicks and okay, Brunson had a good game yesterday, by the
around.
way.
He was phenomenal, better than he was in game four, for sure.
Because you know what it is? Going in tomorrow to Indiana, the Knicks are gonna be like, hey, you know what? Let's embarrass them on their home court
Yeah.
and let's bring this back to the Garden for game seven.
Yeah, like the intensity should be there. Obviously, the Pacers are pissed.
Oh,
They
and
let themselves
when you
go.
look at the Pacers, they were
They were
like,
back.
hey,
They
we
were
were
back.
looking forward to celebrating in New York, but that
Mhm.
ain't gonna happen now. So you know what? They're on our turf now.
Yeah.
Or
Uh,
they're on our floor now. So guess what? Let's play. Let's dance. let's dance, shall we?
Yeah.
And
So
so tomorrow's gonna be a slugfest
yeah.
because the Knicks are gonna be all fired up, like, hey, you know what? Let's win this and let's take it back to the Garden for Game 7.
Well, if that's gonna happen, they need all hands on deck.
Oh, they
Like
absolutely do.
in game 5. Uh, just a couple of numbers here. Brunson was tremendous. We already talked about him, 32 points. He set the tone in that first quarter where he kept making bucket after bucket after bucket. Tremendous. He passed the torch in the second quarter to Karl Anthony Towns. And pretty much since the second quarter on, with the contributions of the bench once again. How about Tibbs? Um, Going 10 deep again, 10 plus deep again, and proving massive. Landry Shamet had 5 points. It's just 5 points, but he was a +4 in a plus minus situation. Tremendous stuff. DeLon Wright, great defensively. And even Achua a guy had a chance to go and one, didn't make the foul shot, but that was huge because that extended the Knicks lead. And then of course, just your starters. Mikal Bridges is not a great night, but he was a great defensive presence. I would like to see a little more out of OG Anunoby, but he also was good defensively as well. So while not necessarily obviously, you gotta rely on your big guns, Billy Boy. You gotta rely on your big guns. Um,
This is the, but
but
you know what?
it's good stuff. Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell
Yeah.
Robinson again has been tremendous. Go ahead, Bill. I'm sorry.
This was, I would say last night was kind of the equivalent to Game 6 of the Celtics series. And why I say that was this was a game that the Knicks needed to just step on the gas and not let up.
Yeah, and Indiana did not lead the entire game, so you knew the Knicks played excellent ball all 4 quarters.
And because you know what? And the Knicks need to have that type of game tomorrow.
Yeah.
They need to they need to throw their foot on the gas and not let up. They basically got to say, hey Pacers, you think you're gonna come here for a nice little homecoming celebration? Well, guess what? You want it? Work. You want it? We're gonna make you earn it.
Do you think the Knicks have found something defensively, like an answer to the Indiana offense, which has been tremendous all series? Let's be real about
I
that.
think they kind of did last night,
I
but
mean,
like I said, that was last night.
that was last night, and of course, Halliburton had by far his worst game in the playoffs. I mean, he was just
Now,
terrible.
Halliburton did not have a good game last night.
All the Indiana starters didn't do well. It- so I'm wondering that if the Knicks can continue to play this formula, I'm not saying Halliburton's going to score 8 points again. You'll probably score like 20, which of course would be a disaster. But even if the Knicks stop him from, just even if he gets like a 16-point scenario, that's that's still a massive, massive improvement. Um, over the 32 and the triple double that he had in game 4, which is just absolutely ridiculous. The Knicks had absolutely no answers. By the way, 94 points the Pacers scored. 94. This is a team that scored 130 in game 4, sorry.
This is just a big this is just a big step down for the Pacers, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, you expect them to be good offensively. Even Pascal Siakam, you know, where was he? Like, he was nowhere to be found. So interesting stuff. Knicks
So
move
yeah.
on. They stay alive, live to die another day, Billy Boy.
And I guarantee you tomorrow the whole state of New York is going to be holding its breath.
Well, here's what I want to see. We need Brunson to continue playing this well. Okay, we need Brunson. You don't have to score 40. You need to be the big time main scorer. You're one. You're the number one guy. I need you to be the guy. And then I need Cat. Look, Karl Anthony Towns, while I love his play, he's been good offensively this series, much better than the Celtics series for sure. Can he stop doing these dumb shit fouls? He had
Amen.
fouls by the third quarter. And when he got off the court, look, it didn't really matter because the Knicks were able to get the big time stops, and Indiana just really didn't have anything offensively last night. The Pacers went on a run. They went on like a 7-0 run or something like that, 10-0 run, something like that, right? So when Cat's off the floor, it's a massive, massive difference in the Knicks offense. So he needs to stay on the floor as much as possible. Obviously, knowing now that we know that the Knicks have a much deeper bench than we thought, and let's be real, nobody thought the Knicks bench was deep, even though everyone was begging Tibbs, who again, good adjustment last night from Tibbs, by the way.
Go Tibbs. Tibbs is the man.
Even though Tibbs, we didn't think that this offense, the bench was deep. But now that we know that the bench is deep, we don't need Cat to be playing 40 plus minutes, Bridges to play 40 plus minutes, Brunson to play 40 plus minutes. But we need Cat to be on the floor as much as possible and help us win.
Oh, absolutely. This is good. Yeah, that's the Knicks really need to explore their bench. They really need to dig into it.
Yep, and they have done so the last 3 games. And all hands on deck for the Knicks. Everyone needs to be out there. They need to play good defense. We need the big guns to keep scoring. And, any contribution is great contribution. And that's going to be needed on Saturday. So all hands on deck. Let's go Knicks. And then for the Pacers, if you really want to win the series, do not let this go back to New York. Don't.
No, they're probably no. I guarantee you, the Pacers are probably thinking. Half of them is thinking, "Damn it, we wanted to celebrate in New York," but the other half is thinking. But the other half of them are probably thinking, "No, you know what? We're on our home court, so thing with the Knicks. They're like thinking, you want to come in and embarrass us on our home court? Well, guess what? We're gonna make you earn it."
Yeah.
And because, they're thinking, we lose tomorrow, this is going back to the Garden. And
Yeah.
do we really? And because, if the Knicks win tomorrow, guys, that's one big if. Isn't that one big if, Reg?
Huge, huge
It's a
if.
huge if. If the Knicks win tomorrow and this goes back to the Garden, that place is gonna be freaking rocking. That inside and outside.
It would be a massive mistake. I'm telling you right now, it would be a massive, massive mistake.
That game is going would make that game would make a Metallica concert look like a freaking Wiggles concert.
Oh boy. I'm telling you, man, you do not want to go back to MSG if you're the
You
Pacers.
don't. You
Close
know
it
the
out. Get
you
it
know the
done.
New
Or the finals.
you
Stop
know the New York crowd is not gonna be sitting there.
because we're gonna
Well,
be ready. We're gonna be ready, Bill. Look, we're gonna hold our breath on Saturday and hope for the best. And if the best comes to us, come on, come back to the absolute dungeon we call the Mecca, and we'll kick your ass.
we'll
Big
do it.
7, baby.
Virtual fist bump. Let's do
Let's
it.
go.
Let's go.
Virtual fist bump.
But anyway, but you know what? You know what I think also needs to happen? We have a new generation of people coming to the Knick game. Sorry, Spike, we love seeing you there, but I think we might have a new generation. Timothy Chalamet's been there.
Yeah, and Timothy Chalamet, to his credit, is actually a Knicks fan. Like there's actual pictures and videos of him when he was little, talking it up with Amari and Melo and all those other teams from the early 2010s when the Knicks were actually good.
And you know what also I respect about Chalamet before I get to the point here is when it comes to sports, he knows more than people think that He
And no,
does.
he's a fan. He's a fan. And look, he gets a lot of crap because he's a celebrity. But
Because he was on
he's a
college
fan.
he was on college game day back in like November, December, and and everyone was thinking, why are you doing this? He knows nothing about college football. He okay, we get it. He's got a new movie coming out because that's when Complete Unknown was coming out, a
Yeah.
Bob Dylan biopic. Thinking, oh, we know, we get it. He's got a new movie coming out, but go on like Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or Colbert. Don't ruin
Don't
our
invade the sports shows.
yeah. But then everyone, including myself, was very impressed of how much he knew about college football.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a real fan. And
And
we're glad that he's on our side. We need the whole Knicks contingent. Look,
he's hanging out with Ben Stiller.
the whole Knicks contingent. I want all the big time Knicks fans, whether it's the local Knicks celebrities or whether it's the high profile people like Stiller, like Chalamet, like Spike Lee. Spike Lee, you can sort of make him a local guy too, but we need everyone let's invade Indiana and
But you know what I hope really
let's make the
Timothy
sea of
Chalamet does?
yellow the sea of orange and blue. You know.
You know what I think Chalamet should do? And I've been seeing a lot of this. He's been bringing his girlfriend,
Uh,
Kylie Jenner.
Hey, Jenna, my brother had said, let's get all the Kardashians.
Listen,
Yeah.
the both times he brought Kylie Jenner, the Knicks won. So Timothy Chalamet is listen, as much as I can't stand the Kardashians,
Yeah.
I think they are a waste of DNA. But no. In the words of my good friend Justin Favaro, when it comes to Kim Kardashian, all this over a sex tape. Um, shout out to my buddy Justin. But anyway, listen, as much as I can't stand the Kardashians, Timothy Chalamet, if you are watching this, and we know you are,
Yeah.
please bring Kylie Jenner, bring some, make it go 3-0.
Yep. That would be amazing. Wouldn't that be amazing?
And you know what? If the Knicks keep winning, then guess what? Kylie Jenner, I pardon you and your family for all the weird shit they've done. You receive an official pardon from me. But
Uh,
but yeah, so yeah, let's invade Indiana.
all hands on deck. Everyone's got to get involved. Knicks starters, Knicks bench, Knicks fans. Come on, let's shut the mouth of people like Pat McAfee, who did that little stupid ass stunt in Game 4. Telling all the Knicks fans to get the hell out of the Indiana. Now let's invade Indiana. Let's win Game 6.
If the Knicks
Let's
win
bring
tomorrow
it back to
night,
party.
right? Like I said, that's one huge if.
Party. And look, here's another thing. I haven't worn my jersey since Game 2. And I did that because look, at that point, I thought the Knicks were completely dead for sure.
Oh,
Um,
I did too, and so did Samantha Black. If you're watching, shout out to you.
yeah,
Samantha, she was texting me,
yeah,
and she's like thinking, I think we're done.
yeah. No,
Or
I thought the series.
she either texted me or she posted it on one of her socials.
I,
She's like, yeah, I think we're done.
I thought it was a wrap, but not totally. So I have not worn my jersey. If the Knicks go to Game 7, I'm wearing
Jersey's coming back on.
I'm wearing everything. Okay, because I know we're gonna kick ass in Game 7. So all hands on deck. If you're Indiana, don't let your guard down. If you're the Knicks, continue to pounce Indiana.
Do it. Okay, so that's game 6 tomorrow night. And if the
Woo!
Knicks win, game 7 at the Garden.
Oh
And
man.
also we got to talk about the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, we just found out who's going to be in the finals. By the way, for more hockey coverage, go to Breakaway Bandits. They'll certainly have more thoughts and stuff. They're always on the YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. It'll be the Edmonton Oilers versus the Florida Panthers in the Stanley Cup final. Game one is Wednesday. It's at 8 o'clock. Um, Billy Boy just stepped out. So Stanley Cup, we'll be watching that for sure. Stay tuned with Rifkin, Noah Trombley. They'll have all the coverage as well. Just real quick, while Billy Boy he had to run off for a second, and everything. As we transition to the baseball, um, everyone's kind of worried about um the Juan Soto thing, and I just want to make it very clear: Juan Soto's gonna be fine. Soto is a great player. He may not have gotten off to a great start, but I guarantee you, he will be fine.
Sorry about that.
There's nothing to worry about, Met fans. Juan Soto's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. But in the meantime, as a Yankee fan, don't expect me to be talking about Soto because the Yankees are on fire.
Yes, they are. But to be fair,
Yeah,
they're playing crappy teams.
they are. But you know what? It's the American. This is exactly what we were talking about during the offseason. As the Yankees face the Dodgers tonight. Tough team. Tough team. Um, they're in a weak league. Are they or are they not?
They are. Listen, we just played the Rockies. We just played the Angels. A dead cat can beat these teams.
Right. So my point is this: as long as the Yankees have Judge, they were able to bring in Bellinger. They and they brought back the likes of Jazz Chisholm, and all that stuff. As long as the Yankees are good on the hitting side, and I think they have been very good on the hitting side. The pitching side, it's been up and down. It hasn't been great, but it's gotten the job done. Like they've actually done a really good job. So you continue to face these teams, the Yankees are going to be fine. They're going to be fine in the American League.
But now we got the Dodgers this weekend
We do have the Dodgers this week.
in Los Angeles.
Yep.
I'm scared. Rematch of the World Series.
Is there? What's the reason to be scared though?
It's the Dodgers. They're good.
They're great, but they're also banged up. Yankees aren't. Yankees are fairly healthy.
We're gonna
For the most
see.
part.
We're gonna see Judge versus Soto. This Soto, Otani. I was thinking
Yeah,
Shohei. Sorry.
Shohei.
We're gonna be seeing Judge versus Shohei this weekend.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready.
Two of the league's leader in home runs, battling it out. Shohei, who's just been phenomenal.
It's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a humdinger.
Yeah. The Yankees have Max Fried tonight. Um, he'll be facing off against Tony Gonsolin, who's also been pretty good. But Max Fried through 11 starts has been absolutely tremendous. And we are so lucky that he's on our team. We were so lucky that when we made the pivot and decided to go in a different direction, that Max Fried was coming to our laps.
Yes, because we all. I think a lot of us were scared. Holy crap!
Mm-hmm. Scared no
Oh,
more. 7-0, 129 ERA, and they only lost one game, but it wasn't even his fault. That's the part. Um, that's the part that's crazy about this whole thing is
because we
that
had we have no coal this year, and people are thinking,
yeah,
"Up, Yanks are done."
yeah. And look, I know we gave him crap early on this season because he was terrible and he deserved it, but Rodon has also turned it up a little bit too.
Oh, he's been good.
He's been very, very good.
He's been
And
he's been shaking things up.
I wonder if it's the beard. Everyone's saying it's
It's the beard, Reggie. The guy should grow one.
maybe he needed more hair to pitch well. But in any case,
Rodon.
this is a good test for the Yankees. They're facing a tough team in LA. And I'm excited for it, dude. Like, no, I'm not afraid for this series. I'm not like we can't be afraid.
No, I agree. We can't be like, I have friends who are a little scared, but they're like, hey, you know what? You embarrassed us on our home field last year. It's time for some payback.
Yankees won 9 of the last 10. The Dodgers are 5-5. You know, look, we could beat this team. This team, look. Obviously, like Bill said, Yankees have been facing the American League teams, which of course much weaker than the National League.
Is the
But that doesn't
American
mean we
League
can't
teams are
compete.
mediocre at best.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that we can't beat the Dodgers.
Because
So
you know what? I think if the Yankees win
sure.
this weekend, I think they make a statement. I know it's early, but I know the Yankees will probably make a statement like, no, we're not just winning because we play, weak league.
Yeah.
And I made that argument last year about the playoff rush to the World Series because I said this on our Bombers Banter post World Series show. I said this, Reg. I'm like, Reggie, what happened was is the Yankees had an extremely easy path to the World Series.
Right.
They had an extremely easy path to the World Series.
Yeah.
And and that was, I think, the factor of why they lost. They just got too cocky and they had an extremely easy path. Well, while we look here, yeah, well, while we look this weekend, the Yankees are doing, you know, now, okay, the Yankees are playing in a weak league, but now it's time to prove something that we don't just get lucky because we have a crappy league and an easy schedule. Like, it's time for them to prove something. I think this is the series. If they take 2 out of 3 in LA,
Mhm.
and I hope they go into the series with fire under their ass
Yep.
and thinking, hey, you know what? Last October they embarrassed us on our home field. Let's return the favor, shall we?
Look, it's obviously not the biggest consolation prize. One being the second best team in baseball after the World Series, and then of course, if we win the series, hey, look, it's just a regular season. But it just feels nice to know, hey, look, we can compete with these guys. Like, can you make it known that we can compete with the National League? So I'm excited. Judge, better continue his big winning ways. He's been tremendous all season long. Uh,
And all I could say is I do not want to hear about freaking Juan Soto again.
I'm tired. I'm tired of so. I'm tired of Soto. I'll only talk about Soto if it pertains to the Mets. If it doesn't pertain to the Mets, I'm not talking about Soto.
I don't want to hear
All right,
about him anymore.
go.
All I gotta say is Juan who?
Yeah, I'm done with it. He
I'm done. Like just
not the
like
Yankees anymore. It's over.
because people were probably thinking, Reg,
When it comes to the Mets, I'll talk about Soto. When it comes to the Yankees, I'm talking about Yankee players.
because
People
you know what?
want to be.
People were probably thinking, oh, what are the Yankees gonna do without Soto? All of you could please politely leave.
Okay, well, they're 15 games over 500 at 35 wins, 20 losses, right? And like I
Yes.
said, 9-1 their last 10. I think they're doing just fine. Their pitching is great. Hitting has been pretty solid. Except for a couple other people, but for the most part, pretty solid, right?
And yeah, absolutely. So all of you people who think the Yankees were gonna suck without Soto, please exit politely. Thank you, and please don't come back. And God bless. But no, no. Can't wait this weekend. Yankees, Dodgers. What? Yankees, Dodgers, Knicks tonight. Oh, Knicks tomorrow night.
It's a
Sorry.
it's a big weekend. It is a big weekend. Um, you know, I'm pumped up. I'm pumped up, man.
Yeah. So anyway, sticking with baseball for a sec, I gotta talk about a kind of serious topic here.
How about this?
Lance McCullers Jr., he's a pitcher for the Astros.
Uh, Tremendous pitcher. He always kills the Yankees.
And he's been after a after a rough outing a couple weeks ago. Get this. There was a death threat
Yeah, how about that?
towards his family online. And all I gotta say is, yikes.
Yeah, what are we doing sending death threats?
He had to hire private security.
He hired a security company or whatever to have protection. What?
And
What are we doing?
here's McCullers' statement. I
Yeah.
understand people are very passionate and people love the Astros and love sports, but threatening to find my kids and murder them is a little bit tough to deal with. No, that's more than just a little bit tough to deal with. Like, listen, Reg and I, we're big sports people. But this is why we do the podcast, because we love sports. We love sports. But I would never threaten to kill someone's family
Right.
over a game. Never. And like, listen, there are some people who argue, well, this is why watching sports is bad. People get crazy. No, listen. Here's my argument. Here's my counter argument. If someone like that is crazy, they're already crazy.
Yeah.
They already got a few screws loose in the head.
Yeah.
Like, if they're threatening to, and like, listen, a lot of us get angry, whether it's sports or at our family, our friends, our partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, whatever, and we say things we don't mean. I'm sure you've done that. I'm sure I've done that a few times when we say to to our families, our friends, whatever, we say things we don't mean.
Right.
But I would never go this far.
And here's the thing, Bill. It's not just Lance McCullers. It's many baseball players,
Yeah, I was just reading the AP.
many athletes in general that receive all these public death threats.
Why?
What
That's
what
insane.
what are we doing as a society? Like, we get it. They're in the public eye, and they're a major part in sports, and you want them to perform well. And you have to understand, it's always based on the performance. It's always based on the performance.
Like,
And that's a scary place to be, knowing that, hey, if you don't perform well, chances are people are going to want you dead. What? Like,
and you
what?
got to think about what this does to players' mental health.
Oh my God. I mean, here's a statement from let's see. Here's Christian Yelich. He said, I think over the last few years, this is an article from ESPN. It's definitely increased to the point that you just, all right, here we go. It doesn't even really register on your radar anymore. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. You're just so used to that on a day-to-day, night-to-night basis. It's just not me. It's everybody in here based on performance.
No, I
So
agree.
people just, so you mean to tell me that people who are professional athletes know that they're just gonna get a death threat if they don't play well? Like, it's almost expected. Is that what we really come to? And look, I'm all for the freedom of speech, but not when you're trying to tell someone to go kill themselves or whatever.
Like, that is not protected by freedom of speech.
That's a little ridiculous.
Now, listen, the First Amendment. Okay, listen, I'm not a constitutional law professor, but but the First Amendment does not protect libel, slander, defamation, or threats of violence. That does not protect it. And
Maybe.
listen, people, come on, we need to be better.
Yeah.
We need to be better. And like, listen, Have there times when Aaron Judge has had a bad game and I've cursed him out? Yes. Have there been times that, even though he's no longer quarterback anymore, that Daniel Jones has had bad games and I've yelled, which is more time than I want to admit, that I've yelled every word of the book. And Reg, we all know that's a very big book. It is a very big book. And I probably get about halfway through it every week when Daniel Jones was quarterback. But would I post online that I would want to kill them and their families? Absolutely not. Never.
Look,
Never.
you can be
And
a
I
passionate sports fan and you could, care about the teams that you root for and want the players that play for you, that said team to be successful and you hope for success, but they're people, they're humans. Like, they're not always going to perform well to your liking. And we have to be better at making sure that we we do our job and
and
for the team and not make people's lives miserable. Again, human beings, let's not make them miserable. Let's do the right thing and root for them and hope that they do well.
oh, absolutely.
We're already
So
under massive public pressure. Let's not make that pressure so daunting.
yeah, it's this is that is absolutely crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Death threats.
Like,
What are we doing? Death threats?
and like, listen,
Game?
again, we've said things we don't mean, but I don't think this is a I'm angry, I'm gonna say something I really don't mean. I think people who post things like that are freaking psychopaths.
Yeah.
Or no, I'll go one step further. I think those people are freaking sociopaths.
And need to be checked.
They're sociopaths. Like, dude, if you're threatening to kill someone over a game, then you need help. You you need help.
You gotta be better.
Okay.
You gotta be better.
You know what? Yeah, if there's is there anything else today? Because if not, I got something lighter we could possibly end on.
Let's end on a light note. Let's go.
Let's end on something fun. It's Friday. We're getting ready for the weekend. And first of all, have you noticed like when there's a holiday, like the whole week just feels weird?
It always goes by fast for me, but you know.
Yeah, because it's always, like today is physically Friday, but it mentally feels like Thursday.
See, I'm different. Like usually it feels like a Friday on these short weeks, but it just goes by fast. So I don't know.
Yeah,
That might be me, but you
like
know,
Tuesday, like physically felt like Monday.
right.
Okay, so I found this is courtesy of Barstool Sports. It's about the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
And hold on. Okay. For those of you who cannot see this, if you're listening to audio, it says Panthers year 2002 to 2003. The Ohio State Buckeyes won a national championship,
Mhm.
and the Panthers had a losing record. The Panthers opened that next season against Jacksonville. J-Lo filed divorce from Chris Judd, and the Panthers made the Super Bowl. 2014 to 2015, Ohio State wins the national championship. Panthers had a losing record. Panthers opened the next season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. J-Lo files for divorce against Mark Anthony, and the Panthers made the Super Bowl. And 2024 to 2025, Ohio State wins the national championship. Panthers again have a losing record. Panthers open this season against Jacksonville, and J-Lo just filed for divorce for Ben Affleck. And what's gonna happen this year?
So you mean to tell me that in order for the Carolina Panthers to to make the Super Bowl, just to make it, not win it, make it, they need Ohio State to win a national title. They
Which
need to
they
have a
did.
losing record the season prior. They have to
Yes.
open the season in Jacksonville and hope and pray that J-Lo is ending her marriage with somebody.
Hey, she just filed for divorce with Ben Affleck.
Crazy.
How funny would it be if this happened? They
Oh,
made the
that
freaking
would be
Super Bowl.
that would be absolutely hilarious.
To all our Panther fans, viewers, all five of you,
I got plenty of Panthers fans in my life. Um,
I know one. I know one.
yeah.
But to all five of you, which is most of them probably is David Tepper's family, um, no, you all know I can't stand David Tepper. He is a he's got to probably be the worst owner in the league. Not
Yeah.
only is he a bad owner, he's just a bad person.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal. We need to see massive, massive strides from Bryce Young. Massive strides.
Yeah, so hey, Buckeyes won the national championship. J-Lo and Ben are gone.
Nah.
And you're over against Jacksonville. Is this gonna happen again? Is it gonna happen again?
That is hilarious. That is hilarious.
And then if that happens
I don't
again,
I don't expect much from the Panthers, but who knows?
and if that happens again, Reggie, Panther fans are gonna be praying that that J Lo gets a new husband and they get divorced in not too long. So Reggie boy, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know.
So yeah. All right. So anything else, or in the wise words of Imagine Dragons, there's nothing else to say.
Yeah, we're good here. If you like what you see,
And why wouldn't you? Because this is amazing.
it's always amazing, Bill.
We always have a good time.
Please subscribe to our channel. Hit that button for notifications and follow us on the socials. We're on X and Facebook. Just search at S Insanity Real. Um, and then of course log on to our website. We have the many different blogs out there, and all that stuff. On this YouTube page, by the way, a couple hours ago, um, Mark Halpern and his son Troy did a little T-ball show. It was absolutely tremendous. Please go and watch that T-ball show. We would appreciate it. We love you. We thank you for always joining and supporting us. Yeah, like I said, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, so follow the socials, log on to our website.
All right. So from all of us here, stay safe. Take care.
We love you. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Yankees. And